I just got one of these fancy turntables on Amazon, and I wanted to film something with it. And because I'm such a collector of various ranges, I decided to crack open one of my collections that I haven't touched in a long time, my De Agostini Thomas collection. For those of you who don't know, these were little plastic models that came in magazines that were released in England around 2004. I only have engines and rolling stock. I don't have any of the tracks or the magazines or anything like that, but these have always really impressed me for the fact that they just came in very cheap magazines. So let's take a look at my collection and analyze them a little bit. And we'll start with my Thomas, the latest addition to my De Agostini collection, actually. Mine is turned a little green, but other than that, he looks really good. A minus. And here's Edward. He looks phenomenal. I love that they actually decided to give him the attention to detail he deserves around the cab area and at the base of his boiler where his splashers are. 9 out of 10. Henry's amazing, and it's really the little details with the painted buffers and the whistle made in its own yellow painted plastic that makes this Henry really pop. Easily an A-level train. Gordon is very much the same. I do think the big red stabilizers in the front, whatever you call those, are a little bit of an eyesore, but other than that, he kind of follows the same trend as Henry. Easily a B+. And James looks great as well with the red plastic. However, I think the font on his number 5 is a little weird, so other than that, he looks great. Easily a B. Percy is one of my favorites, and he's really tall and out of scale compared to some of the other engines, but I can't fault him for that. It's Percy, and they capture him really well. A-. Toby is really hard to mess up in a lot of the ranges. That is, unless you're ERTL.
Damn, boy, he's thick!
This is one of the few ranges that I feel really just nailed him, especially with the face and the overall proportions. He just really gives me that Toby feeling. I have to give him an A. Here is Duck. I think they could have done a better job with some of the GWR lining on the sides, and I don't know what's really going up with his cab window situation in the back. I'll give him a B-. And here we have the Scottish twins, who really impressed me when I first got these. However, the funnels and the domes are really tall, and they tower over the cabs, so there's some proportional issues. I'll give them a B-. Oliver is so close to being an A+ engine, but that number 11 and the GWR symbol are pitifully small. You gotta make those bigger. I'll give him a B. Bill and Ben are interesting as well. They didn't bother to paint the smoke boxes black, and that kind of makes them look naked in the front. They're also a little big, so I have to kind of give them a C+. Stepney is by far the worst of the steam engines. Just look at the garish yellow color that they gave him. That green lining he's known for is also nowhere to be found. He's got proportional issues all over the place. I gotta give him a D, possibly even a D-. The only thing keeping him from being an F is that it's Stepney, and that's awesome. Boco's really interesting. He looks amazing, and his roof detailing is closer to what other BR Class 28s look like, and not so much what Boco had in the Railway series and TV series, where the white roof extends all the way. However, this is accurate to Boco's basis, maybe just not Boco's roof in itself, but I gotta give it an A-. Daisy is amazing, and may also be one of my favorite models in this range. She is way better than her TV series form. Looks even, dare I say, closer to the CGI version than the TV series model version. I gotta give her an A. Just, I love the design here. Now we gotta talk about this. What were they thinking here? I don't know why Bert looks absolutely amazing.
Hello.
While Airy looks like trash. I mean, I guess I know why. Airy's really just a repaint of Diesel, and that's kind of the culprit here, but why did they even bother making them look so different to begin with? It's not like they did this with the other twin engines. Donald and Douglas and Bill and Ben, they look identical. So this situation is just a complete eyesore. I gotta give him an F, just for the sheer inconsistency of it all. And so we have Diesel. Is he a repaint of Airy? Is Airy a repaint of Diesel? I don't know. I mean, he's Diesel. You know, black Gronk. There's not really much that can go wrong there. The face leaves something to be desired. It looks more like Diesel's gotten into the bad coal, but I'll give him a B-. And now comes something special. De Agostini Diesel 10. This was one of the first ones I ever got and really spurred my interest in this range. Just look at that Pinchy. I know the colors are off, but the fact that it's a Pinchy that can move, it can open and close, makes it so dynamic. I used to play with this thing all the time, imagining Diesel 10 terrorizing the engines. I've got to give this guy, well, dare I say, a 10 out of 10 for that claw, for his accuracy. I know he's not the most accurate Diesel 10. I mean, he's got nothing on the Bondi Diesel 10, but that's almost an unfair comparison, because this is a plastic range that came with magazines. I'm blown away by this. This is probably where you're expecting me to talk about Skarloey and Rheneas in the De Agostini collection, since they're number 1 and 2 after all, but nope. They didn't make them. Or Peter Sam for that matter. Here's the characters that they made.
To handle Rusty, Duncan.
Hello there.
Yeah, that's right. They only made 4 of the engines. It's so weird and strange to me. They're not even consistent. I mean, take a look at Sir Handel here. He towers over Duke. Sir Handel is an absolute unit. He is just the chonkiest boy in the whole range. He's so much bigger than even Thomas, and he just is such an eyesore to look at. Now, if you look at Sir Handel on his own, he actually looks pretty good, but you're not here to look at just Sir Handel on his own. Compared to the rest of the range, he is terrible. I'll give him a D. And that's sad, because Sir Handel's one of my favorite characters. I'm thrilled that long after Duke's last appearance, they decided to make a De Agostini Duke. He looks great, other than the fact that they gave him buffers for some reason, and they just kind of completely gave up on his tender lining. I'll give him a B-. He's really cool, but there's some things that just, I don't know, it wouldn't suit his grace. Rusty definitely came out looking pretty good. There's not too much I have to say about him. His proportions are good, his wheels are nice and small, and his face is somewhat accurate, so I'll put him in the B+ category. I can say with certainty that Duncan is the best of the narrow gauge engines. His proportions are very nice. I like his tall funnel, and you can kind of tell they modeled him almost more on the Railway Series version than purely the TV series version, especially with the pipes that come out of his smoke box. And just overall, he appears to be the most detailed of the narrow gauge engines as well. From the stickers on his window, just the very nice face that they managed to give him. I don't know, there's just something about him that I like more than all the others. I will give him an A. It's very refreshing to see so much effort put into making an Annie and Clarabelle. They went out of their way to give them as much detail in the molded plastic as possible. I mean, if you even look closely enough, you can see that Clarabelle has her guards compartment physically built into her mold, meaning these are 2 different molds for these characters. There are so many Thomas ranges that don't even bother to do that, and to see it here in the De Agostini range is truly amazing. Definitely an A in my book. I also have a grand total of 4 troublesome trucks. I have 3 that are making a face, which I would call Hardy Har, and then I have 1 that is absolutely losing his mind. I will never complain about having too many troublesome trucks of any shape, form, or variety, so these are obviously going to be an A in my book. I love these. I've also got 2 tar tankers. That's it. That's the whole analysis. Not much to say about them. And I also have 3 express coaches, and unfortunately I think the De Agostini express coaches are suffering from a case of Ertl-itis. meaning that they don't have bogies like proper express coaches, and size-wise, they're closer to like Annie and Clarabelle size than they actually should be. But you know, I'm not going to complain about express coach merch either, but I'll give it a C. The De Agostini range is one that I would love to complete in the future, and I have almost all of the vehicles, minus a milk tanker, and I don't have any of the non-rail vehicles, as well as Sir Topham Hatt. I would also love to get my hands on some of the destinations, track, and even some of the magazines, just to kind of see what sorts of stories and activities are in there. This is a range that had so much potential, and I'm glad it lasted for however many few years it did. I think the De Agostini range is very underrated and is really cool. Yes, it has some scaling issues, kind of in the same vein as ERTL, but not as many as some of the characters you might think. Beyond that, I think that these plastic toy trains are actually very durable. I feel like sometimes if I drop an ERTL item, like the buffers and the coupling are going to go flying off into oblivion, I don't really feel that with these. These have a little bit more character, a little bit more personality to them than the ERTL trains that I grew up with, and honestly, I'm sad that we didn't get to see more of this range. Seeing Diesel 10 in particular just made me wonder what would it be like if we had a lady in De Agostini, or maybe even a Splatter and Dodge. For now, I guess I'll just content myself with the Subway toy of Lady. That's the closest thing. So, do I think it's better than ERTL? In some ways, yes. Had they continued the range and made as many of the characters and had as many offerings as the ERTL range did, then I would even say absolutely. This De Agostini stuff is really standing the test of time. I think it can give modern Thomas diecast trains a run for their money. But let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. What characters would you have liked to see made in the De Agostini range? And what characters do you have or are you hoping to have from this range in the future? Thank you very much for watching. I'm here, the Japanese Train, signing off. I'll see you in the next one, guys.